Live from the Ball State News Center, this is NewsLink Indiana in high definition.
Good evening and welcome to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Demi Johnson.
And I'm Sharp Marshall. Thanks for joining us.
A Ball State University student was arrested today after what was referred to as a suspicious package caused the evacuation of the University Student Center. 21-year-old Jackson Hyatt of Westfield was charged with intimidation. At around 2 p.m., the building was evacuated after the package was delivered to the Parking Services office. Emergency text alerts and emails were sent to students and faculty with the instructions to avoid the area near the Student Center. University spokesperson Joan Todd said the officials showed, quote, an abundance of caution in evacuating the building and until the package could be examined. The contents of the package posed no threat to safety, and the all clear was called at 3:20 p.m.
Police locked down Wabash College today while SWAT teams searched for murder suspect Lucius Hamilton III. Investigators believe he shot and killed his niece Catherine Gell and her 4-year-old son Raymond this morning in their Zionsville home. Catherine turned 31 today. Hamilton was found dead after barricading himself in a hotel room in downtown Indianapolis. Police say Hamilton died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. Investigators believe the killings may be connected to a dispute over a family trust that is worth millions of dollars.
Tonight, the first of 5 focus groups met to discuss Muncie Community Schools' new strategic plan. After 2 facilities plans failed to progress, the school board has been criticized for lacking vision. NewsLink's Ashley Lehue is live at Anthony Administration.
Tonight's forum discussed services, support, and safety. Now, the purpose of these forums is to ask the community what they want from Muncie Community Schools. One hot topic tonight was discussing if an armed assailant came into a school, what could the school do? Now, the state of Indiana requires this district to have 1 school safety specialist, but Muncie Community Schools actually has 14. 3 grants actually fund the surveillance and safety of Muncie Community Schools, and they're in the process of applying for 2 more grants. This additional grant money would allow the schools to install barrier film on all windows and put an officer in every single building, including elementary schools. Forum participants also talked about what wasn't in the plan, such as rewarding students for their high work. Superintendent said that he hopes to finish this plan by June. Live in Muncie, I'm Ashley Lehue, NewsLink Indiana.
The next forum over curriculum, instruction, and technology is scheduled for Monday, February 29th. Community members are encouraged to voice their opinions.
After a USA story hit the internet this week, many people are talking about the safety of students in Indiana schools. NewsLink's Michael Kuhn has more on what one area's school system is doing to keep students safe.
Teachers. Instead, the screening process is left up to the individual school systems within the state. For the Delaware Community School Corporation, the first line of defense lies just beyond the doors of the administration building. Kim Kemper is the Human Resources Director. She says before being let into a classroom, all teachers go through 3 separate background checks to ensure the safety of students.
One of the missions of our corporation, and the other corporations that I know in the surrounding area, one of our first duties is to deal with the safety for the students. That's our first priority. Then we get to go from there.
As a future educator, Tiffany Millsap says it's crucial for both students and other staff to feel comfortable in their school.
As a teacher, if I'm nervous about being in danger or anything, I wouldn't be able to teach to my fullest potential. And for a student, it would be hard for them to learn if they feel like they are in danger. It's a distractor.
Even though Kemper says her school system is diligent in ensuring this safety, she says she would still like to see more state mandates.
It could only help, I guess is a good way to put it. It could only help.
In the meantime, Kemper says she will continue to do her best to ensure student safety. In Muncie, Michael Kuhn, NewsLink Indiana.
According to Kemper, the state of Indiana does require all teachers to undergo an extended background check before hire.
A bipartisan group of elected Indiana officials is urging United Technologies to work to find a solution to continue operations in Indiana. The group sent a letter today requesting a meeting with United Technologies. The letter follows last week's announcement that Carrier and UTech will move operations from Indianapolis and Huntington to Mexico, leading to the elimination of more than 2,000 Hoosier jobs. In the letter, elected officials wrote, "While we struggle to understand the basis of your business decision, we continue to believe that when we work together, we can solve most problems."
So today, walking to class, Demi, I didn't have to bundle up as much. It was pretty warm.
I realized that too, Sharp. Let's see what David has to say about what's coming up in weather.
Yeah, Sharp and Demi, it was pretty warm out today, but not as warm as what we're going to be seeing here the next couple days. We hit a high of 38, and that is average for this time of year. We hit a low this morning at 30 degrees, and regular low this time of year is 22 degrees, and that's a little colder than what we saw this morning, and that's because we had some cloud cover around. But here in my full forecast, I'll be showing you some very gusty winds that we're going to be seeing here on Friday and through the weekend as well, starting up on Thursday, and that will cause a big warm-up and cooler temps to follow for your next work week. All that and more here coming up in my full forecast.
When we come back, workers have been working around the clock in order to complete the new Johnson Residence Hall. Find out what students should expect from the new hall.
And Apple released a letter to their users that has legal experts buzzing. Find out what that means for you when we come back.
Heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
So I've come up with a family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Despite winter conditions, construction is ahead of schedule for Johnson B Residence Hall. Connor Miller has the story.
If you walk or drive to the north side of campus, you're sure to find construction crews working on Johnson B's renovation. The building is roughly 153,000 square feet at a total cost of $34 million for landscaping, architectural, and engineering design and rebuild. Rain, snow, or shine, the crews are working at 6 or even 7 days a week. Students, such as Johnson A resident Zach Hall, don't seem to mind it much.
Sometimes there's really loud screeching noises, but the majority of the part it's just background noise that I don't really notice. Either I've kind of learned to live with it or it's not that bad.
On the exterior, crews are currently working on structural steel and foundation work, while on the interior, they are working on electrical, HVAC, plumbing, stud work, fire protection, and eventually finishing the roofing, exterior skin, and glass. I sat down with Associate Housing Director George Edwards to hear his thoughts.
Most of the space has been designed looking at the needs for theater, dance, and design. So we do have all the common amenities that would help focus and be used by students in those colleges.
Just as Edwards did with the Johnson A Living Learning Community for telecommunications and journalism, and working with professors and students to see what they needed in the residence hall, Edwards is working with the theater and dance departments to interview students and teachers to see what they need for their ideal living learning community.
The construction crew is currently 1 month ahead of schedule, and the renovated Johnson B should be ready for students by the fall of 2017. At Ball State, Connor Miller, NewsLink, Indiana.
Apple CEO says the company opposes a judge's order to help the FBI break into one of the San Bernardino, California shooter's phones, saying that the order is, quote, an overreach by the U.S. government. Scott McLean reports from Washington, D.C. on a case that may ultimately make its way to the Supreme Court.
For investigators in the San Bernardino terror attack, getting into the minds of the shooters means getting into their phone. More than 2 months later, they're still locked out by a simple passcode.
It is a big problem for law enforcement armed with a search warrant. At San Bernardino, very important investigation to us. We still have one of those killers' phones that we have not been able to open.
A judge has ordered Apple to help the FBI hack into that phone, an order the company is opposing. In a public letter, CEO Tim Cook says the order would create a backdoor to the iPhone, something too dangerous to create, a position he's made public before.
If you put a back door in, that back door's for everybody, for good guys and bad guys.
But Apple is up against the FBI and the Justice Department, both with the backing of the White House.
They're simply asking for something that would have an impact on this one device.
But Cook says that's not the case, writing that once created, the technique could be used over and over again on any number of devices, exposing Apple customers to hackers and cyber criminals. He's also warning this would create a precedent that could be extended to force Apple to help government spy on its customers. Apple is calling for a public discussion on the issue that may ultimately end up before the Supreme Court. In Washington, I'm Scott McLean.
An explosion hit military vehicles at an intersection in the Turkish capital of Ankara today in what the military called a terror attack. No group has claimed responsibility for the explosion. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has condemned the attack in the country's capital, saying it exceeds all moral and humane boundaries. Erdogan said his country is determined to fight those who carried out the attack as well as the forces behind the assailants. The attack targeted vehicles carrying military personnel that had stopped at traffic lights near Turkish parliament buildings.
The Republican presidential candidates are focused on their next contest, Saturday's South Carolina primary. President Obama weighed in on the race Tuesday, saying, "I continue to believe Mr. Trump will not be president, but polls show Trump has a commanding lead in the Palmetto State." Meanwhile, as the Democrats gear up for Saturday's Nevada caucus, a new CNN ORC poll has Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders in a virtual tie. Scott McLean has the latest in the campaign for president.
President Barack Obama is making a bold prediction about the Republican frontrunner.
I continue to believe Mr. Trump will not be president. And the reason is because I have a lot of faith in the American people.
This man has done such a bad job. He has set us back so far. And for him to say that actually is a great compliment, if you want to know the truth.
Republican South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley also making her stance on Donald Trump clear, choosing to endorse Marco Rubio.
We don't want a president that's going to come in and just bash and sit there and tell us what we're not doing right.
But Donald Trump doesn't seem to need Haley's support. A new CNN ORC poll has the billionaire with the support of 38% of likely South Carolina Republican voters, 16 points ahead of Ted Cruz, and the rest of the Republican field trailing well behind. But candidates are still chasing the 31% of undecided voters. On the Democratic side, Hillary Clinton is well ahead in South Carolina polls, but Saturday's Nevada caucuses come first, and new CNN ORC numbers show the gap between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders has disappeared in the state. The two candidates are now statistically tied.
Our next president!
Hillary Clinton is campaigning in Chicago Wednesday with the mother of Sandra Bland, a black woman found dead in her jail cell after a traffic stop in Texas. Both candidates will be back in Nevada before the end of the week. In Washington, I'm Scott McLean.
Coming up after the break, we will have your full weather forecast.
Find out what to expect for the next week in Delaware County.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Sharp, you talked about that warm weather this morning, and I did notice a lot of snow melting on my walk to class this morning.
Yeah, so let's go to David and check out this heat up for all this weather.
Yeah, Sharp and Demi, it's going to get warm here within the next couple days, but tomorrow let's get through another 40-degree day. But for today, we saw temperatures here in Muncie hit about 38 degrees. As mentioned before, we do have some overcast skies here in Muncie. And out east, we do have some red flag warnings, and that's because it is warm, it is dry, and it is very windy out in west. So they have a red flag warning, but that is a sign to come here in Muncie for this weekend. But for right now, we are sitting at 34 degrees here in Muncie with that west-northwest wind at 6 miles per hour, and it feels like 29 degrees out there. It is cold out there, but we will have some relief on the way. For tonight, we'll see a low of 25 degrees, and whenever you wake up in the morning and for your morning commute, you might have some patchy fog to worry about, but nothing in the way of precipitation. For your morning commute here on Thursday morning at 8 o'clock, we will have those patchy fogs around. Some clouds too, but we will have some breaks of clouds giving some way to some sunshine, thankfully, for Thursday afternoon. But as that cloud cover starts to shift off to the east, we will be seeing clear skies overnight for Friday. For tomorrow, we are seeing very partly cloudy skies with temperatures in the lower 40s. 40 degrees for your high on Thursday with those southeast winds at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And those winds will start to ramp up here on Friday. Here Friday at 11 o'clock, we do have clear skies. And we do have clouds around, but wind gusts will be 40 to 50 miles per hour. It is going to be gusty out there. Sustained winds around 20 to 30 miles per hour. As Friday afternoon, that initial front, we aren't expecting any rain with that initial line, but behind that we will be seeing warmer temperatures as well for Saturday. But Saturday afternoon, we are seeing clear skies, a sunny day, and a very nice day to start your weekend on Saturday. 59 for your high, sunny skies, west-southwest winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunny for Sunday. For Sunday's high, we are seeing 53 degrees for AM showers. But Monday and Tuesday, we are seeing cooler temperatures again.
Coming up, a high school is starting a new era in football.
And a local basketball team is taking on a top 10 opponent. NewsLink Sports is next.
Safe.
those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but things changed. Teaching didn't seem that cool anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Amazing things are happening in teaching, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Logan Hancock with your sports. Delta High School named Chris Overholt the new head football coach today. He replaces Grant Zagunda, the program's all-time wins leader. Overholt was a two-way lineman for Delta's 2000 squad that won both sectional and regional titles. The former Delta Eagle brings in years of prior coaching experience after being a varsity assistant with Shenandoah for 2 seasons and then coaching at Jay County for 7 seasons. Overholt joined Zagunda's staff before this past season as an offensive line coach. Overholt was asked about his new position earlier today, and he was quoted saying, "We'll start a new chapter in Delta football. We have a rich tradition here, and I'm looking forward to it." In some more local high school news, the Yorktown Tigers basketball team had a tough task in front of them as they hosted 6th overall ranked in 2A Shenandoah High School this evening. Ben Conti and his Yorktown teammates getting ready for a big home matchup here. Picking up things in the first quarter, Shenandoah's Mason Griggs slashes for the score. Then later on, sophomore Bobby Smith knocks down the jump shot for Yorktown, but it was all Shenandoah in this one. Cody Rudy here for the Raiders. Later on, Kinsey buries the 3 from the left wing. Shenandoah opened up a double-digit lead in the second half. They went on for the big win, 60-36. Yorktown is now 2-18 on the season. The number 12 ranked Ball State Cardinals men's volleyball team took on the 2-time defending champions Loyola tonight inside Worthen Arena. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. The Nest was ready to rock this evening to support their Cardinals against the Ramblers from Chicago. The match all tied up 7-7. Hiago Garchette dumps the ball in the middle of the court for a crucial point to take a slim lead here. Later on, Alex Pia kills the ball in the first to bring the Cardinals within 2 points. It's all tied up at 21 again. Mitch Wheeler makes an incredible diving save here to give the Cardinals a chance to return it over the net. Loyola and Ball State volley back and forth until finally Loyola sails the ball out of bounds here for the Ball State point. Hiago Garchette and the rest of the team is fired up here. Then the big wheel steps it up again with the tough block, getting another crucial point here for the Cards. The Cards took the first 2 sets over Loyola tonight before Loyola came roaring back to claim the 3rd set victory, cutting down Ball State's lead 2-1 currently. The Ball State women's basketball team traveled to take on the Northern Illinois Huskies tonight as they look to rebound from 2 straight tough losses. Ball State looks to improve its standing in the MAC West with a victory tonight. They currently sit in 2nd place at 8-4 in the MAC and 16-7 overall. At last check, Ball State led the Huskies 39-32 with 4:54 to go in the third quarter. 3 Cardinals are in double figures. Natalie Fontaine, Renee Bennett, and Carmen Grande all have 10-plus points. In some off-the-field news, former Ball State standout linebacker Jonathan Newsom was arrested early Wednesday morning on 2 counts of marijuana possession. According to Zionsville police, someone had complained of loud music coming from his apartment around 2 a.m. Newsom has been a member of the Indianapolis Colts for the past 2 years. He led the team with 6.5 sacks his rookie season. And guys, I'm sure Colts fans are hopeful that Newsom's legal troubles won't affect his on-the-field play.
When NewsLink Indiana returns, find out which family is back on TV.
And find out what happened to a man accused of stalking a celebrity. All that and more when we come back.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish! In your face! In your face!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self, and I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Max Lewis, and here's what's happening in the world of entertainment. The Duggars are back on TV. TLC canceled 19 Kids and Counting after Josh Duggar's molestation scandal 7 months ago, but In Touch magazine recently caught the family filming near their home in Springfield, Arkansas. The family is still under contract with the network, and sources say that TLC has interest in the family, especially the Duggar girls. The network aired a special in December that focused on Jill and Jessa, and Josh Duggar is still in rehab, and there is no word on whether he will be seen on TLC again. Dante Mitchell-Soyu, the man accused of stalking Gwyneth Paltrow, was found not guilty today. The 43-year-old actress accused the 66-year-old Ohio native of stalking her over the last 17 years. Paltrow testified that Soyu made recent contact with her when he sent her messages with his intentions to marry her, references to her death, and unsolicited gifts. Soyu was charged earlier today. And that's all for your entertainment news. For NewsLink Indiana, I'm Max Lewis.
David, I really hope you can give us good news about the warm temperatures coming up.
Yeah, we do have some warm weather coming up here on Friday. Looking at our map, here on our 7-day forecast, on Friday we are expecting very warm temperatures. That is actually my satellite radar, but currently we are going to be sitting at 34 degrees, but our 7-day forecast Friday looks to be your hot day of the week, 62 degrees, Saturday 59, but it's going to be a nice weekend, so make sure you guys get out and enjoy it for sure.
That's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to watch tomorrow night at 9 p.m. right here on Cardinal Vision.
And be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Have a great night.
They put my name at the end.